Hey there, smart money sisters. Thank you for joining me again today. Welcome back to the Side Hustle Profits, where we're talking about a step-by-step blueprint to starting a profitable side hustle. And this has been part of, or what we've been working on inside of our side hustle summer series. And so we've been going through this and we are at our final module and the summer is almost over. Now I had a hiccup, so if I cough and things, bear with me because I am just getting over COVID. So last week we talked about how to avoid the side hustle burnout. And we talked about, delegating and outsourcing. We talked about not comparing yourself to others and how important that is for your own personal growth and your side hustles growth. Talked about setting reasonable deadlines and taking breaks and doing vacations and spicing things up so that you can keep things more interesting even for you. As you know, the steps we take for side hustles, they're going to be the same because you're doing the same until you start something new, but even the processes are the same. So yeah, you want to try to spice it up as much as you can. But on to today's module, and our last of this series, which is we're talking about when is it safe to quit your day job? When is it safe to quit your day job? Listen, so you get to this point where your side hustle is starting to take off and your future's looking bright, you're excited at the prospect of working full time on what was your little project, your little thing that you were doing. And you probably start to feel like, Oprah, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs did. They were finally ready to move out of their, garages or their little studios or whatever and launch their products to the world. But the thing is how do you know when it's safe to quit your day job? Um, do you just make that decision because you feel like it, because you say so? Well, the truth is, you can quit anytime you want to quit, right? And I'm a big proponent of, listen, step out on faith, right? But, you can't blame anyone if your side hustle doesn't work out the way that you expected it to, because that often happens, right? It's going good for a minute and then it fizzles out. And so you've got to have processes and plans in place. One of my cousins, excuse me, she has a tax consultant business and she worked for the IRS. And so she branched out, did her own tax consulting business. And one of the things that she did say to me once was that she wished she would have exited the business a little later. Like you're like, wait, what? Yeah, she wished she would have waited. Now her business is doing well. Don't get me wrong, it didn't crash and burn, but she wish she had waited, right? So you got to make the decision and not make that decision lightly. You have to make that decision according to the finances that are coming in and really consider, you know, the if, ands, or buts. I mean, we walk by faith, and yes, we have to go by, we go by the leading of the Lord. And so, but he also, there's a scripture that talks about that he that buildeth the house need to consider, might not say a house, but you build something, you have to consider the cost. Let me say it that way. You have to consider the cost of building. And so in the same respect, you have to consider as you build the cost of when it's safe to quit your day job. Okay. Um, so let's see here. So the first point I want to talk about is you make more. So you make way more at your side hustle. This is a good tipping point for most side hustlers. The moment that your side hustle starts to bring in more money, more wealth than your day job, then they up and quit. I want to know though, is that really a smart decision? Some yes and no. Yes, if the side hustle is stable, that is that it's been consistently generating more money than your main job for several months now. but know if it's not stable. That is your side hustle kind of goes up and down, and there's no guarantee on what the next couple of months or years are going to look like, right? Will those earnings be good enough? So I have a couple side hustles, but let's talk about my Amazon side hustle. Well, that it does pretty good, but there's a lot of ebbs and flows, and I'm at the mercy of Amazon. I am, and whatever they decide to do with the algorithms and things, I'm not quitting my day job based on this Amazon side hustle, because to me, it's exactly that. Now, you can do other things within that, which I haven't branched out on, that could bring you potential income. But again, you want to, when you branch out, you want to make sure that it is based on something that is stable. You got income that you can, mm, nothing's guaranteed, but you know what I say when I say pretty much guaranteed that this is going to be an income, or at least that you can go out and get another job. Okay, you got another income coming in, to supplement that. Should your side hustle not be enough? What does way more exactly mean, that you're making way more? Well, that depends on your living expenses. Some people might be happy with a side hustle that's, two times their salary, while somebody else might say, well, it need to be 5x or 10x my salary in order for me to quit that job. So you got to figure out what the tipping point is for you and use that as a benchmark to know, when you're ready to take the leap and quit your day job. The second thing is you saved enough money. You saved enough money in case, like we talked about. I mean, just things just sometimes don't work out, right? And sometimes they worked and then they don't work. And so what are you going to do for money? I quit my day job, but I had a savings saved up. So how are you going to sustain your lifestyle if you lose both your salary and your side income? Right? So you need to have emergency funds that's set up. It's very important. Many financial experts, I'm big on financial education, but they recommend, at least 6 months of your monthly income in a savings account so that it is liquid. Like, I'm not talking about, oh, I got to sell my home or sell a painting to do that, but that it is liquid so that when an emergency comes up or something happens, you can move the money and get that money quickly. Um, you don't necessarily want to invest it where, in your savings, that savings, in things that are a far risk, right? But you want to have something where you can have it sitting there where it's not so risky and you can pull that out. The next thing I want to talk about is that you're ready to scale your side hustle. Okay, I need to go close this window because the rain is coming down. But you're ready to scale your side hustle. You've got the data and the bank account to prove that your side hustle is ready to move forward. It's ready to move upward. You're doing big things. So, one second. Storm coming through here. I need to go close the back door. All right, thanks for waiting there. But you got where am I? Um, so your side hustle is really you're ready to scale that, you're ready to move on, ready to move forward. And you're willing to take it to the next level. But you can't do that if you're still tied to your day job. This is a tricky situation, right? And you know that no longer, the longer you stay at your job, the longer you delay your success. So you do the logical thing that's left to do, and that is to let that day job go. Of course, before you do that, you want to make sure that you take a look at the situation and that you're not looking at your side hustle through those rose-colored glasses because we often do that. We see what we want to see, right? But you want to also make sure you can conclude others, that you trust are able to look at your situation objectively and get their opinion, right? Somebody who can look at it from a neutral angle. Maybe there's someone who's been in a similar position and they can give you some valuable advice and insight on whether or not the business is ready or things that you might not have considered because when doing that, because see, ultimately, when your business, you had your income coming in, you have to imagine you no longer having that income coming in. It's really true, right? And so we think we can do it and until it's not there. And so it's just a big eye opener there. I've been put in the situation to where, the job is gone. I have no choice. And I started a very profitable business until it was no longer profitable. And so you do have to consider those things, right? And so your business is ready to scale and you really can't do them both at the same time. That's when you know that, you need to start looking at whether or not you should quit your day job because you want to go ahead on and be and not have that thing holding you back. The next thing I want to talk about is you're committed to seeing your side hustle succeed. Sometimes you just know in your heart that what you're doing is the right thing. And when you're passionate about your side hustle and it's what you've always wanted to do, then quitting your day job may be a very good idea for you. But spend some time, as we've been talking about, going over the plus and the deltas, the pros and the cons of leaving your job and focusing on your side hustle. Sometimes when we do that and we just focus on the side hustle, it no longer becomes a side hustle, becomes the business. And then you are put more energy to it, you put more thought into it, and therefore you make more money from it. If you think the advantages though are more outweighing the cons, then hey, by all means, go for it. There's no one stopping you from taking the bulls by the horns. I just want to encourage you to make sure you have backup plan. Make sure you got plan A and plan B and plan C, right? In case things don't go as planned. And then the last thing I want to talk about, when it's safe to quit your day job, you're missing out on opportunities, So you probably get so many leads and prospects, and the only thing that's stopping you from taking them as clients, let's say if you're coaching or speaking, things where you have to, you know, um, have these leads and prospects in a way that you need to be available, right? My side hustle business as Amazon does not require that. So I'm not missing out on opportunities. Now, if I branch out and do some other things, I may miss out on opportunities there, but pretty much for the most part, I'm doing videos and I can do that anytime, right? There's short videos talking about products, which if you want to know more about that, then hit me up because it's a very good, profitable side hustle that doesn't require a lot from you other than you doing videos and uploading those. Okay. You got to have an audience. So, not that you're promoting to the audience because that's coming through Amazon, but in order to be an Amazon influencer, um, you have to have they want you to have an influencer type of feel and vibe before they even approve you. So that's the only hurdle, which I can help you to get over that. Anyway, I digress. You're missing out on opportunities, right? So you can't meet with the clients, you can't meet with the prospects, you can't do the thing, right? You can't go to the speaking engagement because you have to work, right? But if the clients you sign on pays you a couple $1,000s a month, you are or for that assignment and you're missing out on those things, then at some point you're going to have to ask yourself if staying on your job is really worth it, right? For some, they're not in it for the money, so they stick to their day jobs. and they do what they can and they get what they can where they can. But for others who are motivated by the side hustle and the things, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're earning $100 an hour at your side hustle as compared to, $10 or $25 at your day job an hour. Come on, let's just make it a good income, right? You making $25 an hour. Listen, that's a good income. Okay. No, you're not a lawyer, so you're not already making $100 an hour, but you're making $25 an hour. But your side hustle is, $100 an hour, then you're leaving $75 an hour on that table if you're missing out on it, right? So the math has to math. If the math ain't mathing, then it's probably not safe to quit your day job. But if the math is mathing, then you can consider safely saying that, hey, it's time to quit this day job so I can go ahead on and make this additional money. With that said, there's no reason why anyone would shy away from starting a side hustle. After all, millions of people, have thriving businesses. That's what you work for. When you work for someone. You work for someone that has a business. They started a business, whether they started it, or was something that was started many moons ago. But it is a business that someone started and ran. And so millions of people start thriving side businesses that turn into businesses, and millions of people that, do side hustles in addition to their day jobs. But with the right mindset and the right goals, you too can have a profitable side hustle that out earns your salary. Okay. It out earns your salary. And so then, you can weigh those pros and cons again and determine when it is safe to quit your day job. Sometimes you just walk out on faith, but we make choices and then we have, consequences. We always look at consequences as bad, but consequences are good and bad. And so for every action, there is a reaction. So what is the reaction to my quitting? What is the consequence to it? These are the things you want to consider, but you don't want to consider just for this month. You want to consider for the months ahead and the things that you liked to do. Your income, what you got going, what you got, your outcome, what you got going on out, things like that. You have to take into consideration all of those things so that you don't end up in the poorhouse, if I can say it that way. You don't want to make your situation worse. But if you're like me, listen, I know I can go out and get another job. So it may not make what I was making before. I don't know, but you have to consider all those things as well. Okay. So that's it for this module 12. When is it safe to quit your day job? Let's talk a little bit about what's next. I just want to thank you for joining me throughout this series, whether you came in for one lesson or whether you came in for all of them. So what's next is your opportunity to work with me. So if you want to learn about more about how to enlarge your financial footprint, come find me. If you are not in the Smart Money Sisters Facebook group, then by all means come and do that. This is airing inside of the Smart Money Sisters, but there's other opportunities here to see this class. And so if you're not, go to smartmoneysisters.com and come and take a look. That's the free community. You can take a class. I mean, I've got some things that I'm working on, and I'm doing different things. So I not only am a preacher, minister of the gospel, so I have classes surrounding that, but I also have classes as a financial educator. I like to help women make, manage, and multiply their money. And right now, my focus has been on making money because that's what we need. You can manage it all day, but if you ain't got nothing to manage, it's going to be hard for you. So you can come and take one of the classes. September 30th, I'm having a back to school AI boot camp. back to school AI boot camp where I'm going to show you how to use how to create these little gem dolls right here and how you can take that and create a profitable side hustle. So come take the class. I made it very affordable. Listen, I went and got educated and it didn't cost me the cost for this class at its open. At its open. It's going to increase, but at its open right now, it is very inexpensive. You want to catch it live on September 30th, and we're going to go from there. But I also have mindset classes like, Girl Take the Leap. That's more a mindset like this. This one's mindset plus, stuff about how to get your side hustle, things you need to think about when it comes to starting and maintaining your side hustle, right? I have mindset because mindset in side hustle is very, very important. I'm going to do another thing. It's going to be the money empowerment boot camp. So that's something I don't have that yet, but it's coming up. That's something that's in the works. And then we're going to be talking about, you know, books and things and how to create those and coloring books and how to use AI to do that. Listen, there's so much to learn, and I want to help you to be able to monetize your mission, profit off of your passions. Okay. So come take a class. You can go to tishdcolston.com, or just click on links inside of my social media profiles. I'm always going to be promoting there. Schedule an appointment with me. You can go on the tishdcolston.com. You can schedule up an appointment to talk with me for a couple minutes and see how we can best work together. Maybe you have questions. You say, hey, do you have this class? And think I would love to have feedback on what you need. So you come into the communities and you say, hey, I would like to learn, and I can be the one to go gather all of the information and get it together and present it to you. So a lot of times that's what you're paying for with classes and things. Listen, there's YouTube University. You can go piece together a whole lot of stuff. Okay. But if you don't have time for all that, you just want to get to it. You say, I want someone to show me how. That's why I have sisshowmehow.com. Most of the time, whatever I'm working on is going to be sisshowmehow.com. You can go there right now to sign up for that boot camp I talked about. But yeah, so visit the website to see other services and shop our products as well. All right. So I look forward to your success. And I thank you for joining me in this summer series. And as we took a look at the side hustle and went through this blueprint, to starting a profitable side hustle. So thank you for joining me for that. Till we meet again, hey, you be blessed, be fruitful, and multiply.